The rules were simple. No feelings, just sex. Raphael laid them out the first night he showed up at my door. His shirt already half unbuttoned. His eyes dark with want. He'd just gotten out of a 3-year relationship. Some guy who'd wanted marriage and kids and a white picket fence in the suburbs. Raphael wanted none of that. He wanted freedom. He wanted simplicity. He wanted to make love without the complications of emotions. "I'm not looking for a boyfriend," he said, his hand already sliding up my thigh. "Just someone to help me blow off steam." "You good with that?" I should have said no. Should have recognized the disaster waiting to happen. But he was beautiful and broken and standing in my doorway like an answer to a prayer I hadn't known I was saying. So instead I said, "Yeah, I'm good with that." That was 3 months ago. Now, Raphael showed up every night like clockwork. Sometimes at 8, sometimes at midnight, but always he came back. He'd text a simple "on my way." And 15 minutes later he'd be at my door, ready to shed his clothes and his day and everything else that weighed on him. "No feelings," he'd remind me as he pushed me against the wall, as his mouth found my neck, as his hands mapped territory they'd already memorized. "Just sex. Just sex." I'd agree, even as my heart cracked a little more. The thing about no strings attached is that strings have a way of forming anyway, invisible threads that weave themselves between bodies that keep coming back to each other. I learned the way he liked his coffee, even though we weren't supposed to have coffee together. I started keeping his favorite beer in my fridge, even though we weren't supposed to be domestic. I knew that he talked in his sleep, that he had nightmares about his ex, that he made the small sound of contentment when I held him after. And he did stay after. That was the thing that broke all his rules. After the sex, after the release, after we'd both gotten what we supposedly came for, he'd linger. 5 minutes became 10. 10 became an hour. An hour became him falling asleep in my bed. His body curved against mine. His breathing slow and even. "I should go," he'd say every time, but his arms would tighten around me. "So go," I'd challenge, and he never did. One night, after he'd shown up soaking wet from the rain, after we'd peeled off his wet clothes and he'd pressed me into the mattress with a desperation that felt different, he whispered against my skin, "I hate my apartment." "Yeah, it's empty, cold. I damning hate being there. So stay here." He pulled back to look at me, and there was something raw in his eyes. "That's not what this is." "What is this, Raphael?" "No feelings. Just sex. You know that, right? Just sex. That's why you come back every single night. That's why you fall asleep holding me. That's why you told me about your sister's wedding last week and asked if I thought you should go. That's different." "How?" "It just is." But he didn't let go of me. I can't do feelings. I can't do commitment. I can't be what someone needs. I'm not asking you to be anything. Yes, you are. Just by being you, by looking at me like that, you're asking me to be more than I can be. I cupped his face, making him meet my eyes. What if I'm not asking for more? What if this? You, showing up every night, staying until morning, telling me about your day. What if this is enough? It's not supposed to be enough. This is supposed to be simple. When has anything between us been simple? He kissed me then, and it tasted like surrender. Like 3 months of fighting against something inevitable. Like a man finally admitting he'd been lying to himself. Later, as we lay in the dark, his head on my chest, he said quietly, "I'm falling for you." My heart stopped. What happened to no feelings? I lied. His voice was barely a whisper. I've had feelings since the second night. Maybe even the first. I just kept pretending I didn't because if I admitted it, I'd have to face how terrified I am. Of what? Of needing someone again. Of giving someone the power to destroy me. Of wanting something I'm not sure I deserve. I ran my fingers through his hair, feeling him relax against me. You deserve everything, Raphael. I don't even know how to do this. The relationship thing. I'm going to dam it up. Probably. But here's the thing, you've been coming back every night for 3 months. You've been doing the relationship thing without calling it that. You've been choosing me, over and over, even while claiming it meant nothing. He was quiet for a long moment. Then, it's never meant nothing. God, it's meant everything. That's what scared me. And now I'm still scared. But I'm more scared of losing this. Losing you. He propped himself up on one elbow, looking down at me. Can we start over? Can I come back tomorrow night? Not for just sex, but for this? For us. I smiled. You've been coming back for us this whole time. You just weren't ready to call it that. I'm ready now. I'm ready to stop lying. I'm ready to admit that I don't just want your body. I want your stupid jokes and your terrible taste in movies and the way you look at me like I'm not broken. I want all of it. What happened to no feelings? He laughed, pressing his forehead to mine. Damn no feelings. I'm in love with you. I've been in love with you. And I'm done pretending otherwise. So you'll come back tomorrow night? I'll come back every night. Not because I need the sex, though that's pretty damning great. But because I need you. Because you feel like home in a way nothing else does. I kissed him, slow and deep, sealing the promise between us. Then come back. Keep coming back. Until it's not about coming back anymore because you never leave. Is that an invitation to move in? Eventually. When you're ready. When it doesn't feel like too much. He settled back against me. His body relaxing completely for the first time since I'd known him. I think I'm ready now. Yeah. Turns out 3 months of pretending you don't have feelings is exhausting. I'm tired of fighting this. I just want to be with you. Raphael said no feelings, just sex. But he came back every night, and every night he stayed a little longer, held me a little tighter, let me see a little more of who he really was beneath the rules and the walls. And every night, those walls came down a little more, until finally there was nothing between us but honesty and love and the promise of every night to come.